You walked through that door today and your dog lost their mind. The spinning, the jumping, the whimpering. And you did what every loving owner does. You matched it. High voice, big energy. Maybe you got down on the floor and let them climb all over you. And it felt exactly right. It felt like the best part of both your days. What if that moment, the one you've both been waiting for, is one of the things quietly damaging your dog's emotional health? Not because you don't love them, but because the way you're showing it in that specific moment is working against everything their nervous system actually needs. Stay with me, because what's coming is going to feel wrong at first. And then it's going to change the way you walk through your front door for the rest of your dog's life. Welcome to Canine Breakdown. If you're new here, subscribe now. Every week we go deeper into the world your dog actually lives in, so you can finally meet them there. And today's video is one of the most important we've ever made. Here's what makes this so hard to hear. You're not doing this out of neglect. You're doing it out of love. The excited greeting, the big fuss, the immediate rush to give them everything they missed while you were gone. All of it comes from a good place. But good intentions and good outcomes are not always the same thing. And in this case, the gap between them has been costing your dog something real every single day in the moment they look forward to most. By the end of this, you're going to understand exactly what your dog's nervous system is going through while you're away. What you're doing the moment you come home that makes it worse. What they actually need from you instead, and why making that change is not less love. It's the first time you'll be loving them in a language they can actually receive. What's actually happening to your dog while you're gone? Most owners picture their dog napping peacefully, waiting, comfortable. And some dogs do settle. But underneath that stillness, something else is running. When you leave, your dog's body registers your absence as a disruption to their social group. Dogs are pack animals at a neurological level. Not metaphorically, not historically, but right now, in the body your dog is living in today. The moment that front door closes, a stress response begins. Cortisol, the same hormone that spikes in humans during anxiety, rises in your dog's body and in many cases stays elevated for the entire duration of your absence. Research measuring cortisol levels in domestic dogs found this pattern even in dogs whose owners described them as calm and unbothered when left alone. The outward behavior didn't match what was happening internally. Your dog can appear fine and still be carrying hours of low-grade biological stress by the time you return. Here's why that matters. By the time you walk through that door, your dog is not in a neutral state. Their nervous system has been in a stress response for hours. They are dysregulated before you even reach for your keys. And whatever happens in the first 60 seconds of your return either helps that nervous system recover or drives it further from the ground. That 60-second window is everything, and most owners spend it doing exactly the wrong thing. The 4 things owners do that make it worse. The first one is the excited greeting. You come in, you see them, your voice goes up 3 octaves. You're talking fast, moving fast, matching every ounce of their energy because it feels like connection. And your dog does seem to love it. The tail, the jumping, the spinning. It all reads as joy. But here's what's actually happening. You are meeting a dysregulated nervous system with more dysregulation. Your dog spent hours in a stress state, and instead of a signal that everything is safe and calm now, they get a spike. More arousal, more stimulation, more activation, layered directly on top of the stress that was already there. Over time, this pattern teaches your dog's brain something you never intended to teach it. It teaches them that your return is not a calm resolution. It's another peak. And a nervous system that only ever gets peaks, never true recovery, starts to stay in a permanent state of readiness. That readiness is what most owners eventually call anxiety. And they never connect it back to the door. The second thing is rushing straight toward them with direct eye contact. It feels like the most natural thing in the world. You see your dog, you go to them, you look at them, because you love them and you've missed them. But in canine body language, a direct approach combined with sustained eye contact is not warmth. It is a pressure signal. It is what a dominant animal does. Your dog overrides this because they love you and they've learned you. But that override costs them neurological energy every single time. The dogs who jump and spin and occasionally lose control of their bladder in excitement are not simply happy. They are overwhelmed. Their nervous system has hit a ceiling and has no other way to discharge what's happening inside them. The third one is guilt compensation. If you've ever come home after a longer day than usual and immediately given your dog extra treats, extra attention, an extra walk, a bigger fuss than normal, this one is for you. It comes from a genuinely loving place. But what it does is build an association your dog was never meant to have. It teaches them that your absence predicts an incoming reward spike, which makes the absence itself more loaded, more anticipated, more emotionally significant. You are, without meaning to, making the leaving harder by changing what the returning means. Dogs who receive inconsistent but occasionally over-the-top homecomings show higher separation distress than dogs whose returns are consistently calm. The spike is what their nervous system starts waiting for, and waiting for a spike is its own form of anxiety. The fourth thing is inconsistency between people in the home. One person comes home quietly. Another bursts through the door with full energy. A third does it differently depending on their mood. To a dog, this is not variety. This is unpredictability. And unpredictability in the people a dog depends on entirely for safety is one of the most well-documented contributors to chronic anxiety in domestic dogs. Your dog cannot regulate their own nervous system around a pattern they cannot read. They stay activated because activation is the only rational response to not knowing what's coming next. What your dog actually needs from you in that moment. Here's the part that's going to feel wrong. The research-backed approach to coming home looks like this. You walk in. You don't rush to them. You don't immediately make eye contact. You move calmly. You put your things down. You let the first wave of their excitement exist without you feeding it. And then, when they take a breath, when there's even a 3-second pause in the spinning, that is when you acknowledge them. Quietly, warmly. You get low, you let them come to you, and you make contact in a way that is calm and steady rather than amplified. That's it. That's the whole shift. Studies on re-entry behavior and separation anxiety in domestic dogs have found that calm greeting protocols, where the owner ignores initial excited behavior and rewards calm behavior with quiet affection, result in measurably lower cortisol levels after reunion and significantly fewer anxiety-related behaviors over time compared to dogs whose owners match their excitement at the door. The science is saying something simple. The quieter your homecoming, the faster your dog's nervous system returns to baseline. And a dog at baseline is a dog who can actually connect with you, not just react to you. This is the part most owners resist, because it feels like withholding. It feels like walking past someone you love and pretending you don't see them. But that feeling belongs to you, not to your dog. Your dog does not need your energy to match theirs. They need yours to anchor theirs. There is a difference between those two things, and it is the entire difference between a dog who is excited to see you and a dog who is calm enough to actually be with you. Why this feels wrong, and why that matters. Every instinct you have was built for human connection. Eye contact means warmth. Matching energy means empathy. Rushing towards someone means you're glad they're there. Those signals work between people. They are wired into you deeply and for good reason. But your dog did not evolve to read human instincts. You evolved to read theirs. 15,000 years of domestication shaped the dog's brain to track your face, your voice, your moods, your patterns with extraordinary precision. They have been adapting to you the entire time. This moment, the homecoming, is one of the few places where the adjustment needs to go the other way, where you learn their language instead of asking them to absorb yours. The owners who make this shift almost always say the same thing afterward. Their dog didn't just get calmer at the door, They got calmer overall. Because the homecoming sets the emotional temperature for the rest of the evening. A dog who comes down from your return gently and completely has more capacity left for the night. More capacity for connection, for play, for the kind of quiet companionship that is actually what most owners are chasing when they come through that door with all that energy. You didn't know this because nothing about it is obvious. Every instinct pointed away from it. Your dog's excitement looked like happiness, and matching it looked like love, and no one ever told you that the gap between those two things existed. Your dog never held it against you. They were waiting at that door today the same way they